Welcome to another episode of In Depth with Academia. Hey there, I'm Richard Price, the CEO of academia.edu. Super excited to dive into today's fascinating topic with all of you. We're heading into some intriguing territory by exploring a paper written by Carlos Rosalba. This paper delves deep into why we might need an international regulatory body for information and communication technology, often abbreviated as TIC, indeed a complex but vital subject in today's interconnected world. So, what's this all about? Well, the core question or problem that Carlos's paper tackles is the absence of a global regulatory body for internet technologies. Think about it. Our entire digital environment is insanely global, yet there's no single overarching entity managing it. How wild is that? This lack of regulation becomes even scarier when we remember incidents like the mass surveillance revelations made by Edward Snowden. That's when the veil was pulled back to show how major powers like the NSA in the US were monitoring communications. Just imagine the implications for privacy and sovereignty. It's, a bit unnerving. Now you might wonder, why is this paper so significant? Well, when we have these massive breaches of privacy across borders, it raises questions about how much control one nation or, one organization should have over the global flow of information. TLDR, it affects everyone, from citizens to companies to governments. Shall we dive into the findings then? Carlos builds his case by comparing and analyzing international documents on the subject using methodologies like explanatory and exploratory research. The results? A resounding conclusion for the necessity of creating this regulatory body for TIC. He argues persuasively that given the revelations from the Snowden affair and other similar instances, there's an urgent need for a multilateral agreement, something akin to bodies we already have for trade and health, like the World Trade Organization or the World Health Organization. Did you know that? Carlos describes some fascinating examples, like how the lack of regulation leaves individual countries vulnerable, especially when we talk about cybersecurity breaches or unauthorized data surveillance. Imagine all the public and private sector data floating around, entirely dependent on the goodwill and regulations of other nations. Yikes. A significant portion of the paper also highlights Brazil's proactive steps. They've been pushing the envelope with their Marco Civil di Internet, which is, I guess, a sort of digital constitution. It's meant to protect users' rights, facilitate innovation, and ensure net neutrality in Brazil. But here's the kicker. The reach is limited to national borders. That's what makes an international body even more crucial. They can't do it alone. Oh, speaking of which, okay, this is just a side note, but Brazil is also home to the CGI.br, which is like this super interesting model of internet governance where various sectors have a say. That's cool. Gives us hope there, doesn't it? Now, what about the methods, the nitty-gritty of Carlos's approach? Well, by using a qualitative document-based strategy, Carlos analyzes the current gaps in TIC regulations, comparing it to how international entities like ICANN handle things, though with limited scope. How ICANN only deals with IP addresses and domain names and doesn't cover content rules or privacy issues. Those are huge oversight areas. Wouldn't you agree? Throughout his paper, Carlos remains neutral, not advocating for one way of governance over another. His goal is a fair discussion on how such a body could function effectively. The key takeaway here is, it's not about imposing any particular viewpoint, but more about facilitating dialogue and action in the right direction. As we move towards our conclusion, let's reflect on why this matters to us, shall we? This paper isn't just a theoretical exercise, it's about real-world consequences and ensuring that global citizens have their rights protected no matter where they are or who they communicate with. A regulated global framework could redefine privacy standards, enhance the security of international communications, and promote technological equity. Imagine all that. Anyway, while we ponder these great ideas, remember that academic research, like this, invites us to explore, debate, and maybe find better ways of doing things. It's not telling us what to think, but rather what to think about. Phew, it's been quite a journey today, hasn't it? I know I rambled a bit there, but hey, that's how conversations flow, right? Thank you so much for tuning in to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, hoping you found this as intriguing as I did. And don't forget to check out Carlos Rosalba's full paper if you're keen on scratching below the surface of TIC regulation. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast world of academic insights.